Hello, welcome to another update about Bitcoin. We start in the daily time frame. Nothing happened here really, but I just want to show you the relevant levels that we're dealing with here because they are very, very relevant. And you can see how the price is respecting those levels. And then we take a look at the shorter time frame. Thanks also everybody who signed up for the newsletter today. I made you aware in the previous video. It's now sent out. You should have received it. If you didn't, please reach out by email to info@morecryptoonline.com. We can investigate. But anybody who signed up should now have the newsletter ready to read. Ready to read over a coffee or tea on the weekend. Enjoy. But you can still sign up obviously for the next one. You'll find the link below. So every week we do that. Okay, looking at the daily chart. Bitcoin today, a bit of a flush out there. I mean, nothing major, especially not on the Bitcoin chart, happened. Bitcoin dipped from here. What was the top today? Around 71.8K. It's not even a 5% move. Okay, people still start to panic. Some altcoins moved down quite strongly. But again, nothing unusual for crypto really. If you look at this red candle, yeah, I mean, it's the largest red candle in a while, but you know, only a couple of weeks ago we had this one, we had this one, we had this one. So it's just a normal day in crypto. It's a normal day in crypto, and we haven't even broken below the range there. You can see these two lines. Yeah, Bitcoin failed to go up directly, but we could still be in this fourth wave. All right. So advantage is, as with everything that we do with Elliott Wave, you get the key pivots. You get 1, 2, or maybe 3 scenarios, typically 2. And then you get the pivot in between, and the pivot decides, you know, that's the key level that distinguishes between one and the other scenario. And for example, if a support level, like a micro support level, breaks, well, it typically doesn't have any implications on the larger time frame and the main thesis. But yeah, I mean, maybe a small micro pattern might break. You know, we might break one small support area and get to the next one then. But then there's a level between that gives you a heads up, a warning that something different is going on. And that can be an early warning. And that's why stop losses can be so important. You have to have a stop loss if you trade the micro patterns. If you are trading the bigger picture, I mean, the move today is not even noteworthy, I guess. Okay, but you can see that the market could not break above this previously communicated resistance level at around 71.8K. I only talked about it in my first video today. Again, this breakout point that it needs to be overcome. And I also said that it's difficult, you know, this area. It's difficult. We are in, well, not in all-time high territory, but we're close. So important is now to be aware of this lower red line. It's just structural support around 67.5K. But there are other levels as well, like Fibonacci levels, that are worth watching. They are more relevant for me than structural support. Still though, the pattern here on the daily isn't changing. Could still be that we've bottomed here on the 1st of May in a wave 4 in this larger correction. After this correction sort of lasted several months really, you know, this correction which started in March. And please be aware, I said that many times, I haven't taken out this support area. It's not closed or invalid or anything, or it is a highly relevant support area still, because we haven't broken out of the range to the upside. We could easily still come down to 58K. So this is still relevant, right? Someone asked me earlier today, you know, what's the reason for the sell-off today? What's the reason? We still haven't broken out, right? So it's still very much prone to failure. It's a very nervous market at the moment. It's on the micro level, yeah, and that, you know, I give you resistance levels, I give you support levels. You know, when the first upper support breaks, then yeah, you get a bit of a flush there. We've seen that today. You know, for example, ETH broke an upper support area and sold off dramatically. And those early warnings, you know, they are pretty much the heads up. FET as well sold off strongly today. FET, for example, but only in my video today, I made you aware of that level. We were exactly at the pivot and we broke below it, and that created that flush. That's why these levels are so important. Yeah. I mean, also Elliott Wave can't guarantee that support levels hold, but we get an understanding. If it breaks, then it's typically like an avalanche down, right? Very important, very helpful for trading. Now let's go to the smaller time frame chart. Here, obviously, after the last video, I've made an adjustment, but nothing we haven't talked about. So the lower support area is still relevant now. The upper one broke, so I've taken it off the chart. So that was the first break of support in a while. So of course, at some point they do break, but it's really been holding very well over recent weeks. We moved out of our main support area, dipped into the next one, reversed there, and then this up there broke, but it was a very early warning. I can't remember where the support was, but we dipped quite strongly, but we are still holding way above the well, I shouldn't call it lower micro support now, because the upper one has been taken out, so it's just micro support. This is obviously the one that we talked about in previous videos. You know about it. The idea is here that we could get one more high to 76k, but despite the rally today, the market made a new high today, right? And I mentioned to you, this rally looked like a corrective rally, so I expect lower, but it didn't hold upper support. Okay, so it did test the support area. I wanted to see that, but it was not a successful test. So that means, as per previous updates, we're likely still in the wave 4. The idea of the triangle, is now invalidated. Took that off the chart anyway when we broke micro support, but that still means this could be a larger flat structure. And I'm looking for lower prices now. So it's typical, when one support area breaks, I'll give you resistance, and the market then needs to give us proof that we're turning up again by breaking above resistance. Resistance is now, let me just double check that. 70,174. It needs to break above that level to give me an early indication that this C wave of wave 4 is in. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't need to test support. It doesn't need to. It already did that here early in May, end of May. And because we have an overshooting B wave, slightly overshooting B wave, the C wave doesn't need to go below A. Okay, it could just be a running flat, but I would still prefer maybe one more low here. I do also have another idea. I do have another idea. Yeah, it could also be, but I need to work on that. It's possible that it's doing this. This is an A wave. A, B, C. Could be even come down a little lower, but I don't know. Let's first see. I think for me, this count that I've got on the chart, which we talked about before, it was previously the blue count, right? The blue count, now it's yellow because it's easier to read. I think this is the one that I focus on now. I want to see now how the price reacts to this support area if we test it between 64.4 and 67.2k, and then from there we could rally in a fifth wave to the upside. So levels are clear. Resistance was mentioned, and the next support levels as well. And it looks to me as if it needs one more low at least. Looks like a small bear flag here. In the C wave, you see it, maybe it's small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's sort of how I see this at the moment. I'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.